Here's a story up next on Compass.
A possible new addition to the Charlottetown Summer Festival. I'm Sara, Fraser, and later in Compass, we'll meet the creators of a new musical all about the life of famous PEI author Lucy Maud Montgomery.
Next year will mark the 100th anniversary of Anne of Green Gables, and next season a new musical could be joining Anne on stage at the Confederation Centre of the Arts. For the past 2 years, a team of Americans has been working on a production called The 9 Lives of LM Montgomery, and today they presented it in Charlottetown. Sara Fraser reports.
I don't know where I learned it.
It's a work in progress. No costumes, no sets, just the script. This brand new musical, called The 9 Lives of LM Montgomery, is having its first public reading today before a packed and appreciative audience.
Now it's just my secret.
I think perhaps Anne is such a spokeswoman for Maud that people just have fallen in love with Anne. I think there's probably enough interest to see who is the creative force behind Anne. Particularly since next year being such a pivotal year, I think this might enhance the awareness of her and her life. The journals at this point in time have been basically the property of scholars and people who have really been interested in looking into her, but putting her on a musical stage allows the rest of the world now to
to learn something.
Yeah,
we take 2,500 pages of flat pages and turn it into
an evening experience. Entertainment. And I think that's the idea, is that at this point we can actually bring Maud's life and her other characters to a much broader subset of the people.
Exactly, because even Maud didn't want to just be known as the woman who wrote Anne of Green Gables.
Are you following me again? I can see you behind that sandhill, Nate Lockhart.
I just came to bring you a surprise.
The writers were gauging audience reaction this afternoon and will polish the show later. Developing the musical to this point has been a 2-year labor of love. The writers even moved to PEI from Los Angeles a couple of months ago to get a better feel for the land Lucy Maud Montgomery so loved.
And yes, it's true that I like you best, not just like
Nathan, no!
But it's true, Maud. I've always liked you better than any other girl.
Once we saw this island, we just fell in love with
amazing.
it. And we saw the play, Anne of Green Gables, and I had read, believe it or not, the story when I was a child, and had put it away, tucked in the shelf with all my other books that I read. But I knew that there were more stories about her, and I thought, you know, I wonder if anyone's ever done a continuation of her life after she grows up. So we started doing a little preliminary research.
Kicking around some ideas, and then we came back the next year and found out somebody had already thought of that.
So at that point, it was mentioned to us, well, nobody's really done a musicalization of her life.
Boys, I appreciate your enthusiasm. Truly I do. But I missed a year at school, so to compensate, I piled my own lessons high upon my plate. I need an education.
The show is based on the extensive journals of LM Montgomery. The team also interviewed dozens of experts on Montgomery and got her family's blessing.
And we didn't just stop there, we also went to her homes in Ontario.
We went to Leasdale, Norville, Journey's End. We visited all the places that she lived, tried to get a sense of her spirit, and to try to connect with what it must have been like to live in those particular times and periods.
Because it's one thing to just read a book and do research, but we wanted to kind of get a piece of her experience to help us three-dimensionalize this whole thing.
And with no chums here, I finally agreed to correspond with Edwin, just to spice up my dead and alive existence.
Anyone who's read Montgomery's journals knows she had some very dark moments and may have suffered from depression. So how does that lend itself to a musical?
We leave a lot of gray area here, so that the darker areas of her life we hint at, but we don't explicitly state, to allow the audience to make their own conclusions. So we try to not shy away from the darker aspects of her life, but we don't sensationalize on it
Exactly.
either.
That was very important, that we weren't going to be exploitive, but we wanted to tell the truth.
The play is called The 9 Lives of LM Montgomery, not only because she loved cats, but also referring to herself plus the 8 heroines she wrote about, including Anne of Green Gables and Emily of New Moon.
this won't get rejected. It's the best thing you've ever written.
Perhaps I should have infused you with more modesty.
I'm just telling the truth, Maud. I'm so excited that we're sending it to a publisher.
Bob's Merrill of Indianapolis. Ready?
Ready.
Whether or not this play makes it to the stage here next year is yet to be decided. Artistic director Anne Allan will have a lot of say in that.
Well, I think that's what's been exciting about the last couple of weeks, working with the company, with the writers, to really determine what is the piece. Is it a piece of theatre, like in the form of a musical? Or is it a piece which has so much historical input that you really want to honour that it becomes more of a documentary and a film? And part of the process in these last few weeks is to really look at the material, flush things out. Of course, today we're going to put it in front of an audience just to get the feeling from the audience as well as how they see it and interpret it.
In fact, those in the audience today were given paper and pens to write down their reactions.
Mr. Mustard may not be unjustified after all.
Maud, the dress!
The summer festival will announce its lineup and whether this play will be in it by the end of November. Cost could be a factor. With a cast of more than 30 actors and up to 200 costumes, it could cost more than $600,000 to stage for the year.
My daughter in the Charlottetown Patriot.
How wonderful.
Sara, Fraser, CBC News, Charlottetown.
The writers of the 9 Lives of LM Montgomery have been chronicling the making of the musical. You can visit their website to find out more, and the address is located right there on your screen. When we come back, we'll take a look at sports right here on Compass.